Thank you for calling 1-800-SAD-DESIGN. We're back with another remote episode, and yeah, this is another last minute kind of recording. We've been busy with the holidays, so
Yeah. It's a
holidays
kind
and
of
work.
a cozy episode today. We're
Yeah,
all snuggled up. We're just gonna chat and catch up today's episode because we haven't talked since
yeah.
before the holidays. So,
It's probably probably been like 3 weeks or something since we really last
yeah.
talked. So
When we
lots
said we were
kind of
going on
happened. I feel like.
vacation, we really meant it.
Oh yeah. I mean, you got to take those days off. Like
Yeah.
something I didn't really realize is pretty much just been working kind of like full time since graduation. And so you don't really get any of those like breaks or long weekends anymore. So
Yeah.
it's like the past, I don't know, 5, 6 months, it's been just work, work. No like trips or anything. So like
Yeah,
when
and
I
when you're
went,
not working, you're doing this and yeah.
yeah. So like when I went home, I was like, I'm going to work on some things. I think I have time. I'm going to work on some stuff. I literally brought all my stuff and I literally didn't use any of it. Like, I was like, yeah, this is nice. Just chilling on the couch, watching a show, no stress.
Yeah,
I
I
was
did
like,
the same thing.
I miss this life. But yeah, I don't know. And then honestly, I was only home for maybe like 5 days. It felt like a week, like a full week and a half. I was gone.
Well,
Like,
that's nice. Feel very refreshed afterwards.
yeah, well, I don't know. Levels are still pretty low when it comes to certain things.
Yeah. It's
But
always hard to
yeah,
come back.
yeah, it was definitely a nice. It was a nice break. Like, I feel like I definitely needed it. Like a little mental reset and physical
Yeah.
reset, I guess. But I'm back, pretty much back for 2, 3 weeks, and then I'm going back, going back
Did
to
you have a
vacation
good
life.
Thanksgiving with your family?
Oh yeah, it was pretty good. Um, yeah, I mean, there's just lots of hanging out with family, which I don't mind. I like hanging out with all of them. But yeah, I don't
That's
think
nice.
nothing too big. But yeah, what about you? How was your Thanksgiving?
It was very chill. I didn't touch my computer for about a week, which is like never heard of before. I'm usually on it like 7 hours a day.
Same.
And my Thanksgiving was just like my parents, my brother, and my aunt. Very small, very chill. We did art all day and watched Christmas movies.
On
And
Thanksgiving?
on Thanksgiving, yeah.
All right. All right. Okay. My mom used to be like, we're not listening to Christmas music until the drive home from Thanksgiving dinner. So it's kind of like I'm now kind of used to the whole thing where it's like, no Christmas things until literally like Black Friday.
Yeah, we've always kind of been the same way. Like the Christmas decorations don't go up until after Thanksgiving, usually in my family. But we were feeling very festive on this Thanksgiving, so
I
we went
feel
with it.
like I feel like every year, like people start getting excited for Christmas earlier, and then eventually it's gonna be like they're gonna just get rid of Thanksgiving. I feel
Just
like
skip it
people,
entirely.
yeah, like I seriously feel like we only celebrate Thanksgiving for the food, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the only time you can like cook a full turkey and eat, and it's like the only time you can eat stuffing. I feel like stuffing is not really a like a dish that you're allowed to eat any other time of the year.
I mean, I do. I have stovetop in the pantry, you
Oh.
know.
Well, it's like I know you can like just get it year round, but I
Yeah, I
I feel
eat
like
it
it's
year round.
so. Oh, you do?
Not all the time, but every
Yeah.
once in a while I'm like, damn, stuffing sounds real good.
To me, it's like that once a year treat, and it's like I feel like that's what like holidays for me are for is just like the meals, and I think it's like different how families celebrate it, but
Mhm.
my family we kind of like just do like a big celebration thing with like all the family, or try to do it with all the family, like all the cousins, all the aunts and uncles, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Very nice. If it was up to my roommates, I think they would start Christmas in July, if I'm being honest.
What the heck?
So I'm sure you have to have feelings about that one too.
Well, I mean, my mom is like, part of it makes sense to me because my mom watches those Hallmark movies,
Hmm.
and they do like a series of movies in like June or July, and it's Christmas themed. And it's like snowing. I'm like, why the hell are they doing this in July? It's like, it's the middle of the summer. And then my mom's just like, it's a Christmas movie, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right. I'm already a hater of the Hallmark movies, but then to find out that they do Christmas movies in July, I was like, come on, man.
Too far.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't really mind people who celebrate it early.
You just like it a little later.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to skip all the experiences.
Yeah, I gotta celebrate all the holidays. You can't oversee any of them. Like I'm not a big Halloween person. Like, I literally don't contribute anything Halloween related, really. But it's like, sure, whatever. Yeah, it's like whatever. But yeah,
Uh, Anything new going on? Like, what's work like? Any new projects?
work's pretty much the same as usual. Nothing really can. I feel like nothing can really change with that. Um, I don't really think anything big has been happening there. No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't know. Most of the time, the days go by like a blur. Like, the past 2 days, literally, like, been pretty fast days. Most of the time, I feel like they take forever, but it's not bad. So,
Mhm.
happy with that. Outside work things. What have I been working on? I'm trying to do, well, I guess I'm still doing on all, like, working on those poster things I was talking about. But
For your
that's
brother?
slow. No, for me.
Oh yeah, those ones were like the lot.
Just like for fun, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and then that's about it. I think there's like other things, but I think I'm gonna try to keep it on the down low for a little bit, just to like start it up, get the ideas flowing, and then yeah,
Yeah.
early stage things.
I
But
get
yeah,
it.
what about you? What have you been working on?
I just got a cricket. It's my new
Ah,
best friend. I'm obsessed with
yeah,
it.
you've been using
Um,
it every day.
Pretty much, yeah. I've been working on a lot of Christmas presents. Like everyone's getting a custom Christmas present this year.
Everyone's
um,
getting a custom card with cutouts and
yeah,
foil and all that
been doing a
fancy
lot
stuff.
of bookbinding. I messed one up and I'm actually fixing it right now. It looks like a mess. I can't show it because it's a Christmas present, but here's the inside mess.
What'd you mess up on? The
The end
end
pages.
sheets? Okay. Okay.
So I'm trying to clean it up the edges a little bit before I reglue it to the text block, which also I can't
Nice.
show the cover. So.
Do
Just in case
you,
that person's watching, they'll know if they saw the title if it was theirs or not.
did you finish those other ones?
I got one done. I can't
Just
remember if
one.
I talked about it last episode. Where is it?
I don't
I can't.
think so.
I
I think you
remember
finished it after
talking
that
about.
last episode.
I remember talking about the binding. Oh, I was talking about the design last episode. I was working on the design.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
I hadn't cut it yet, but I only got one of the book series that I was working on done. This is what it looks like. The gold foiling is
Nice.
so nice on it.
Yeah, it looks so nice.
this border is so fine around the edge of the book. It was like so hard to read the vinyl. I thought I was gonna rip the whole thing apart, especially like in the corners with all these little inner working details.
Holy smokes!
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
and like
I'm
her
surprised the
hair
cricket did
here
that.
too.
Oh my god!
And that you see that headband, I'm like, can I get any closer? The headband, absolutely ridiculous. And then I put a quote on the back too, in
Oh
those little
dang!
tiny letters.
Oh
I
my!
had to redo those once. I had to make them a little bigger because the first time they came out of the Cricut, gone.
I'm actually surprised that it cuts
Um,
like that fine detail.
yeah, this is the spine. I
Ooh,
included
the logo
the
looks
progress pages logo from
nice.
my personal project from senior year, just to be like nod towards that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very shiny.
Very
So
nice.
one of four is done.
Heck yeah! It looks sick. I dig it.
I just have like a mountain of books under my desk.
Amount of books that you're redoing, or just like
Yeah,
books?
redoing. I probably just
Oh my god!
continue to pull out
Dang, it's like
books.
it's an addiction. You're addicted.
Oh, I have like 300 books in my house. More. I think there's a couple more under there, but yeah. Never ending.
Nice. That's sweet. Has that just been focusing on the binding the whole time?
On
Or
most
like
of
all
them,
that
yeah.
stuff? Nice.
Now that I have the Cricut, it's like, yeah, all I can think about is like, ooh, what book am I going to do now? It's been really fun.
Yeah. I think it's nice when it's like you're excited about the project and you just want to keep doing it, and it's like you don't want to go to sleep or you don't want to go to work, so you just want to keep on creating.
Yeah. That's been definitely me lately, working on some of these books and like Christmas presents. I'm always like, oh, I just want to work now, or I just want to keep playing on the Cricut. Like,
I know sometimes I'm like, I gotta go to sleep because I have to wake up for work. I'm like, dang, that sucks. But yeah, maybe one day it'll all change. Who
yeah,
knows? But yeah, how's work been? Work?
I don't want to talk about it.
No? Alright. Okay, that's good
It's
enough.
okay. It's the same old. I don't love it. Serving is serving.
Okay.
People are people. It's holiday season, so it's real fun, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
Money's
probably
tight
like.
for everyone, so they can't tip their servers.
Really? Is that how it
Yeah, it's
normally is?
the holiday season's really bad
Oh,
for that
jeez.
reason. It's been that way the last 4 years I've done it, so I'm like, it's a trend. It's like the holidays come and you just expect to get nothing.
Dang, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Hmm.
It's like either that, like
Hmm.
most commonly that, or there's those very generous people that are like, happy holidays, and then they slap $100 bill on there for you, and you're like, what? But
Dang.
that happens like very
It's
rarely.
like the one. It's like a one in a million type of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. I normally. I feel like. I mean. I tip. Like the way I tip is like. Obviously, if I'm being like served like at a restaurant, there's a tip. But I hate it when it's like takeout and they
Yeah.
pop up the tip. I'm like, I'm not. Don't try to make me feel bad for not tipping you. I was like, you did your job. You cooked it and made it all, but it's like there was no service really.
No.
Sometimes when
Or
I do
it
feel
took
bad,
you like 2 seconds to put it together. Like,
yeah.
and the
Sometimes,
options that come up, it's like 25% is the
yeah.
lowest one. And I'm like,
I'm like,
you did it in
no.
10 seconds. That I do get a little frustrating.
Yeah. Sometimes when it's like a high school kid, though, I'm like, oh damn, I'll give you $1. $1 is all you get. All right, that's all I can afford.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole tipping, I just don't
Tipping
understand
culture
it.
sucks.
It doesn't make sense.
It really doesn't.
But it's like, it is what it is, I guess, you know.
As someone whose income is tips, I can tell you 100% that I hate it. I don't understand why it is the way it is. And I
Yeah.
can't.
One of my cousins, like, says comes home and it's like, yeah, I made $500. I'm like, $500? What?
But it's so inconsistent. One night you
I
can make
know.
$500 and the next you can make 10. So it's like,
Yeah, that's the one thing I know. I'm like, well, yeah, the one day making that much one day, like one night, sounds good, but it's like, what if it's like not even half the next day, and it's like, hmm,
yeah. And like, I work Monday through Friday. I don't work the weekends. And Monday through Wednesday, dead. I stare out the window half the time and beg for someone to come in just so I have something to do. And
yeah, I've always
I
wondered,
really
like,
only bank on Fridays to make money. Thursdays
uh,
sometimes can be really good, but it just depends on the week.
hmm, I've always wondered, like, what people do who work at like restaurants or whatever during lunch hours of the weekdays. Like, not ev- like how busy is it and how much money are they making versus losing? Because it's like I feel like most people probably just like bring a lunch or either don't eat a lunch, right?
Yeah, I feel like there's some weekdays where the lunches are more popular than the evenings, at least at my restaurant.
Hmm.
Um, Monday nights, oh my gosh, there's no one there. I'm lucky if
Really?
I get like 4 or 5 tables on Monday nights. Like,
Jeez, that's.
especially this time of year when it's cold and everything.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I know. I kind of like the past couple days I've been leaving or like going out in the mornings, and it's like, oh my god, it's kind of cold. Or like even today, I had to get gas and just standing outside, I'm like, it's kind of cold. It's freezing. My
yeah,
hands.
the temperature dropped here so fast. Like it was like in the 60s, and all of a sudden it's been like low 30s, 20s, and I'm like, where did this come from?
I'm
And the
like,
fog too
oh
lately.
my god, the fog. Like
And it will just
yesterday,
sit all day.
yeah. Well, yesterday I was working the whole day. I didn't even like go outside or even look outside the window. And I'm going out and I'm like, I can't see anything. Why is all this fog here? I didn't even know it was like lingering around. But I was like, damn, it's kind of sketchy driving through
Yeah.
that.
And the fog hasn't been too terrible in Boise. It's like when I'm driving to Nampa for work, like I'll be totally clear and then all of a sudden just wall of fog.
Yeah, there's like a hidden barrier between the cities where it's like just instantly changes the conditions. Like I remember when we were having those fires, I had to like I had to like bike somewhere to pick up my car, and it was like literally from once you enter like the border of Boise, it just like smoke just. I was like, what the hell? I was
Closest to
fine
the
the whole
mountains.
time. Yeah, and I'm like, damn, this kind of sucks. But yeah, I'm convinced there's a hidden border.
Oh yeah, it's very clear. It's like a wall.
Yeah, like even with the not when it's like foggy like this, but it's like gloomy and the clouds are relatively low. You can kind of like sometimes there's just it's like super sunny over here, and then on my way over it's just clouds. I'm like, hmm, interesting.
Can On my way to work, I could go through like 5 weather conditions on my 45-minute drive.
You go through like just yeah, it's like oh
Boise, Garden
sunny,
City,
and then you get
Meridian, Eagle,
gloomy,
Nampa.
and then it's pouring, and then thunderstorm.
Yeah.
You get it all in one day. What a treat.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, do we want to have a little vent line for ourselves today about the audio.
Oh, yeah. What is there
You
not to talk about when it comes to audio? I mean, I'm definitely probably going to run into similar problems with this one, but I mean, if you haven't noticed, the audio levels are really low. Well, at least on Spotify, it's low. You were saying on
Apple
the.
Podcasts sounded okay for some reason, which is weird because it's hosted from Spotify.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought it was like completely separate thing.
it's like signed in through my account, my Apple ID, but it's hosted through Spotify's, what do you call it, RSS or whatever.
Hmm.
Because otherwise you gotta pay for it.
Lame.
Yeah.
Friggin'
So
Apple.
that's how I worked around it all.
Well, anyways, for some reason, like when we're in the main recording area, we can like listen to the audio in person, like the live feed or whatever it's called, and it sounds perfectly fine, crisp, loud, whatever. And then even when I go and take it, all the video and audio into like Premiere to edit all, sounds fine. Like I even boosted up a little bit so it's a little bit louder. And
You can
then
always turn it down.
yeah, like so on my end, editing sounds fine, perfect. And then I never really bothered to listen to the episodes like on YouTube or Spotify, but when I was home for a break, so my dad was talking to me about it. He's like, "Yeah, dude, it's really quiet." I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." So I listened to it. I was like, "Oh, damn." So yeah, I mean, just I'm gonna just Google it really, but for some reason I thought I fixed it and it was just raising the volume like everywhere with the microphones in Premiere, all the audio channels, whatever. But I guess it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
So
And even when I was editing for the first couple, I was having the same issue too. So I don't know what it is, and if someone who's listening does have any help for us too, we'd greatly appreciate that because we don't know what's up.
yeah, yeah. I'm honestly the only thing that I could really think of is the way I'm exporting it. Like maybe it's not the right
I feel like that's the
file
only
type.
thing it could be is like the output, like,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure what.
So I'll definitely just look into it. Hopefully I can figure it out for this one, but knowing me, it'll probably take a while.
And that's okay.
Yeah. I am curious though, like I'll probably go and look at it after this, but how the YouTube sounds and even the Patreon one. I listened back to it, I thought it sounded fine. But I'll have to
Yeah,
look
but I
back
usually
again.
listen to things very low too. I don't know. That's just like my thing. So it's like something I've never really thought of. But I guess, understandably for people who are like hard of hearing or something, it might be nice to like have it as loud as we possibly can. So it's just something
Yeah.
to work on.
Yeah. Truly, it's a mystery. I don't know if we'll solve it. I mean, most likely will, but yeah, I didn't realize it was like this complicated.
I didn't either. There's so many steps to it all.
There's just for everything. Yeah, honestly, everything is just a lot more steps than I realized. Part of me thought it would have been a cakewalk, but then the part of me also
I
knew it
think
wasn't going to be a cakewalk.
we both thought that.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, bi-weekly episodes, no problem. Making
I
podcasts,
can't
no problem.
I can't imagine what this would be like if it were every week. I feel like it'd be a mess. Um,
Yeah.
like the fact that it's, I mean, I get it because it's like full time jobs and personal life, and then there's a holiday break. But like, imagine trying to keep that up. Like some people
Every
keep it up during the holidays. It's like, what?
No, and imagine being like a TikToker and they post like every day.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine that. It's crazy.
I
Like,
was like, I don't think I'm even entertaining that enough to keep people watching me every day. Like, how do
I
you do
know.
it?
I know. My whole thing about like TikTok and social media is like, and I don't really. I mean, it's either you post like really funny content, whether it's yours or someone else's, like meme accounts, or you have an account and your whole thing is like making skits. Like, I can somewhat understand that. But then there's some other people where it's just they're kind of like forcing themselves to make like that
Yeah,
cringy
and
content, and it's like
there's
I don't understand how they do that.
I don't get that either. And there's some creators that I've like watched from the beginning who I followed because they were actually funny. And then they got to a point where it was too forced and it wasn't funny anymore. It was,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, you've done this one too many times now. Like, you've beaten it around the bush.
Hmm.
The point has been made. It's not good anymore. You're gonna have to come up with something new.
I think that's how like a lot of the older content creators feel, because they're like, I don't want to do any of that stuff. Like this stuff is kind of lame. They just want to do like what they've been doing the whole life, essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of my favorite ones. I don't really like them or follow them. I just love the memes that come off of them. But it's the Costco guys. Oh my god. I I don't even know what they do. Honestly, all I know is like
I've never
I saw
watched
the.
Costco guys.
It's not worth it. But
It's not worth it.
I saw like funny clips from they were on like Jimmy Fallon, and it's like those meme accounts and like Jimmy Fallon was so sick of the Costco guys, and they're just like doing their thing. I was like, oh my god, I I can't imagine being in either of those positions where you're like quote unquote interviewing them and they're just doing their stupid things, or being the
Yeah.
person who's doing the stupid things on like national television. So,
Yeah. I get it.
the whole content creation and the algorithm stuff, not a fan.
No, me either.
I
But
feel like,
I think us doing what we're doing will find a more genuine audience, which I think is more what we're looking for rather than the very fast paced, trending, like have to be the top of the game. Like that's not
yeah.
what this is.
Yeah, and I also feel like this isn't really much of content creating. It's just more of like hanging out.
Yeah,
Hanging out and chatting. Like, I feel like that's all it is.
yeah, really. I mean, there's a definite direction of our talks, but
Yeah.
guided discussion.
Yeah, there's topics
But
and whatnot, but I mean, I feel like most of it is kind of just chatting.
yeah, for sure. I went and saw Courtney today. Courtney is
Was this
one
the
of
first
our,
time you went to their office? Because I remember you were talking about it.
yeah,
Oh,
Courtney, if she's listening, she's one of our
classmates.
peers from the graphic design program. And I really haven't seen her since graduation, and she invited me to come see her new office space that she hangs out in. And it was super cool. Um, it was very open and colorful, and I don't know, it just like kind of inspired me, and I thought it was interesting. I was like driving back home, and I was like, there's definite design with environments, and that changes how we like interact with it. It changes our mood and our productivity. Like I was just there, and I was like, I want to work on something. like,
You're
like
like, I'm feeling
Whatever they
Creative.
have going on here, it's working.
Well, what was it like specifically there? Like,
I think,
was it just like plants?
well, there was plants, but it was very diverse. There was a lot of different modes of like seating. Like you could choose to sit at a desk or in a comfy chair or in a recliner. Like
Hmm.
it was like you get to choose what it was flexible, and it was also colorful, lots of natural light. But there was also darker corners where there was like soft, ambient light, and I don't know. It was like pick and choose. Like, what are you feeling today?
It's kind of like they have a different room or section based on your mood.
Yeah,
It's like, I'm feeling whatever. And then
yeah,
like, I'm going to go sit over here. Or it's like, I'm feeling this. And then it's like, I'm going to sit over there. I feel like that's nice. I think having different options is, I think it's good for like
yeah.
your
And I could just
brain.
tell that like the layout, the design of the space was very well like out for that intention, that flexibility, and that productivity in mind as well. And it just worked.
Nice.
Courtney said it was very like stereotypical millennial office, like in her opinion, but she's like, but yeah, it's cool.
She's like, oh, this is like, she's probably like, oh, this is like, kind of being like, well, I don't know exactly how she feels, but based on what you've been saying and how I'm imagining it, First of all, have you seen the movie The Internship?
Yes.
Okay. I'm picturing that kind of environment. Like Google, Apple esque.
A little, yeah, very open. Like, there's no like set. Like, this is someone's desk. Like,
Mm-hmm. It's like a
I mean,
big
I'm sure those exist
communal.
throughout the building somewhere, but
Yeah.
yeah, more of a community space.
Honestly, yeah, sounds pretty nice.
Yeah, I was helping her at the end test out one of the projects she's working on right now. She's like um, doing a chatbot, a Santa chatbot,
Dang.
for like kids,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like her whole team's working on it. But she was having me test it to see if I could get Santa to say naughty things.
Oh my god.
Santa passed. He is programmed well.
Dang. Dang. That's pretty cool though.
We were getting a kick
Ooh.
out of it, but
What was your like so it's like a Santa chat GBT?
kind of, yeah. He
Interesting.
likes to tell stories. He asks you what like you want for Christmas. He sent me a gingerbread recipe because he was talking about in one of his stories that Mrs. Claus makes the best gingerbread, and I was like, "Send me the
Hmm.
recipe," and he did.
Dang, you gotta try it now and
I
then.
know. I got to make sure it's good for the
Yeah.
kids.
Well, yeah, you gotta test it out because then you go and tell Courtney. It's like, dude, Santa gave me this recipe and it was ass. Like, don't be telling these kids to have their parents make them when it's not even good. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a
I'm
little
taking
mini
this
focus
testing to
group.
the next level.
Yeah. Well, you gotta like take everything in consideration. You know?
That is for sure.
Like if you go to ChatGPT for a random recipe, I mean, I'm sure they're probably just like feeding off of the internet, but like someone's got to see if it's legit, you know?
Yeah. I even Courtney was like, "Well, can you ask it for like an allergy-free recipe too?"
Ooh,
And it did come up with one too. So, because she's like, "What if kids
damn.
like gluten-free or whatever?"
That's pretty big brain.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of things you have to think about.
Yeah. Kind of off topic, but well, I mean, not, well, I don't know. But you're talking about allergies, and one thing I found out is that I guess allergies are more common than they were when like our parents were kids.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
was
guess
talking about
allergies
that
didn't
today with one of my
exist.
regulars.
Yeah?
Yeah, we were talking about the food is poison. Like, it's making us allergic to everything.
Well, it's like, I was talking with my boss, and he was like, yeah, I'm not allergic to anything. And I was like, really? I was like, normally people are allergic to at least one thing, I feel like.
Yeah.
But he's
I'm
like, yeah, I
allergic to one
mean,
thing.
you are?
Yeah. You're allergic to one thing.
Man, it's like
that I know.
walnuts, right?
Yeah, you're peanuts.
Yeah. That's like the severe one, I'd say. But even like, I was talking with my boss, he's like, yeah, dude, no one had a peanut allergy growing up. I was like, really? I mean, yeah, I was probably like the only one in elementary school, but like, I know some of my cousins are allergic to them. But I was like, dang. I feel like it, to me, it's
Yeah.
just crazy. Like,
And the whole gluten thing too. The gluten thing's
oh my
huge.
gosh.
Huge.
The, like, celiac or whatever it's
Yeah.
called. That's crazy. I can't imagine. I mean, it'd probably be a great, like, diet and whatever. But a life without gluten? Oh my god.
Miserable.
Oh my god. I can't imagine.
I'm so sorry.
It's like, you can't enjoy, like, the meal, well, gluten, because, like, gluten's basically, like, bread, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you can't go to,
Wow.
like, Italy. Because that's probably, I mean, I'm sure it's glutinous. I don't really know. But, like, I
Yeah.
feel like all their food is bread. Bread related, at
Pasta.
least. Yeah.
I mean, there's always substitutes. They have a lot of substitutes now, but some of the bread substitutes are not the same.
I used
Actually-
to be, like, gluten-free diet. I don't know why. Like, my stomach just, for, like, maybe, like, a couple years of my life, my stomach just did not, like, set well with certain breads. So I just went, like, my parents just put me on a gluten-free diet. And my God, everything was just bad.
Yeah, I accidentally bought a loaf of gluten-free bread at Trader Joe's once. So gross. It was so dry. It was nasty. Luckily, the next week I got COVID and I couldn't taste anything, so I kind of just choked it down.
Oh my gosh. I guess it's like a win-loss.
Yeah. It was still
Something
dry,
like
but I
that.
couldn't taste it.
Dang. I remember I used to get gluten-free bagels, and you had to, like, freeze them. Freeze or refrigerate, I don't know. Well, it's probably freeze, because I normally refrigerate them. But I was like, why the heck do I have to freeze my bagels?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
It's a sad
honestly,
thing.
can't imagine that life. But yeah.
Ty,
How do we
it's
get to
almost
food?
2025. We're changing topic now.
I seriously can't wrap my head around how fast time's moving. Like, I thought it would go by way slower now that it's just work, no school, stuff like that. But my God.
It feels like we graduated and then it was just speed running.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this how time's gonna be forever now?
I mean, yeah, like, I kind of remember, like, summertime. It was nice. You can go outside. You can go on a walk, go on a bike. And then fall time hit. I'm like, yes.
I missed the
can wear a
entire
hoodie and
summer. I
shorts.
don't know where it went.
Honestly, yeah, it did kind of
I don't remember a thing from the summer. I'm like, was that a thing?
That's a good point. Honestly, I don't really. I mean, obviously, I remember certain things that went on in the summer, but it just was like a blur.
Yeah.
Like, literally, if I really, like, think about it, it technically feels like yesterday could be like August.
I agree. It's been 3 months of podcasts.
Really?
Yeah.
3 months of podcast, and we're only on the 6th episode.
Yay.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, podcast numbers going by slow for, I feel like, compared to like how normal people do it, but it's also, I feel like they just have more time, you know.
Well, we're doing bi-weekly.
Well, I know, but it's like I don't know a lot of people who work like a regular full time schedule and then also stay on track with a week every week
Yeah, no.
episode thing.
Like we've said, no way. But it's almost 2025, Ty. Do you have any like design goals for the new year?
Honestly, well, basically no, and that's mainly because I don't really set New Year's goals. I don't think I ever have. I set one as a joke and I didn't even like accomplish it. It was literally just to buy a jacket.
To buy a
That was like
jacket.
my one goal. I was like, this year I'm buying this jacket, and then the year I made it, I forgot about the whole year until like November, December hit, and I was like, you know what? It's not worth it. I'm not buying it. And
All
so yeah,
right.
maybe I can make that same goal this year, but I know for a fact I probably won't be
You're,
buying it.
you're gonna. Okay. Is there one thing you would like to learn this next year?
I think definitely there are things that I can set for design goals at least because I feel like to me
You
that's
don't have
more
to commit.
important. Well, it's I feel like to me setting like a design goal is more important than like quote unquote a life goal. You know,
Yeah.
man. Well, mainly because I've never set like those kind of goals. But design wise, let's see. Hmm. I think definitely like learning certain or new I don't know if it's strategies or styles. There's definitely like a style that I want to try to achieve with like posters or whatever. But I think for me it's just I don't sit down and like figure it out long enough. Cuz for me I try it I'm like, "Damn, I can't get it like exactly the way I'm picturing it." And then I don't save the file.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I think definitely like I'm trying to think how many of the like different styles that I do want to like get into and learn.
Just kind of branch off from your typical
Yeah, I definitely do have like a very like
experiment.
go-to style with my work. And I personally like it's nice cuz it's like that like home court feel, you know?
Yeah.
But I definitely do want to like kind of branch out and explore.
I get that.
But yeah, what about you? Do you have any big plans, design or outside of design?
Oh, I don't know for the big plans, but I kind of want. I've always said this, but I kind of want to make it a goal to like do something creative every day. It doesn't necessarily have to be design
Every
work
day?
every day, even if it's
That's a
just like
lot.
5 minutes, like a 5 minute doodle.
That's a
Just
lot.
I
I
know
feel
I can
like.
never keep up with it. I last like a week, but that's always something I think about. And just because like I feel like my days always go so much better when I just put down because I have a lot of thoughts in my head. Just put down whatever's up here on a piece of paper. But I do want to maybe jump back into like illustration and animation again. I know I did that
Mmm.
project during this last spring, but I want to like
Animation.
build upon that, because that was like
Mm-hmm.
stick figure.
Yeah.
I want like next level.
Okay, okay.
So that's just something I want to kind of mess with in the coming year, I think. And I think, like you said, styles too. I kind of tend to stay in the same lane as well, and kind of, do something that I normally wouldn't do, mess with colors that I don't normally touch, which I kind of did in today's Fun of the Week. Um, but yeah, video editing is always one too.
Oh my.
Terrible.
Part of me wants to like do a deep dive into like video editing and like
Maybe we just need to
sound
do a
and
whole
music
course
stuff.
together.
Maybe. Part of me wants to do like okay. This is kind of like separate conversation, I guess.
As we do.
But Honestly, probably not really related at all to the topic. But basically, my brother and I were talking about music a while back. And I was saying, like, this whole. Normally, I make a new playlist every year, and it's just of all the new songs that I find.
Mm-hmm.
This year is, like, the smallest playlist since, like, 2018 for me. I don't know why. I've not really found any good songs that, like, stand out to me or whatever. And most of the time, it's because it's, like, I don't like them, one, because they're all over, like, Instagram and TikTok, so I hate the, like, repetitiveness. But I also was like, I like certain parts of a song, but then the rest of it I don't like. And it's like, what if you just take a bunch of those parts and mix it? Like, obviously it has to, like, flow nicely between each, like, line, but I was like, like, getting into, like, the sound, like, the sound design, whatever it's called. Like, designing, I don't even know if it's designing. Audio, mixing it, whatever it's called. I was like, that sounds cool. Whatever musicians do.
Yeah.
But I know I can't do that. I know for sure. I've messed with GarageBand. It never works. But yeah. Yeah. I honestly, a crash course of, like, I don't know if, like, an intermediate level of video editing and, like, transitions and motion
Yeah,
graphics.
because I know, like, the bare minimum. I could do the bare minimum and make it look good. It looks good, better than
For me, it's like,
it
it just looks good enough.
Yeah, but it could be better. I like the ins and outs of everything.
For sure.
Like, I know there's different ways to do things. And you always find the thing, like, the way that's easier for you, but there might be an even easier way. And...
Oh, yeah. Just like those damn paths and fills, you know?
Yeah, that's like me and doing everything in Illustrator, throwing the one thing I need in Photoshop and bringing it back to the Illustrator instead of just, like, doing it all in Photoshop.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, if you
the job, like, gets done.
Yeah, like, I know I'm so used to Illustrator, and whenever I'm like, I'm going to design this in Photoshop, because I can do it. And then I get in there, I'm like,
I can't do it.
I was like, I don't know this. I mean, I can put in the time to learn it and figure it out, but I'm like, why would I do that when I already know how to do it in Illustrator, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I agree.
Honestly, in the, maybe like an intermediate course for, like, Premiere, and then maybe like an advanced expert course for Photoshop.
Yeah. Because I do know Photoshop pretty well for photography.
Yeah, I mean, I know how to edit
photo editing itself, but when it's designing in there, like, I don't know. Yeah. That's weird. I can't do it.
I remember when I found out that people design in Photoshop, and I was like...
I know, I was like, what?
What? It's called Photoshop. Like, don't you just edit photos? Yeah, that's what I literally thought.
I use it for its name.
Same. But that just means we go by the book, you know?
Yeah.
I think the people who design in Photoshop, they're like those rule breakers or whatever. But I mean, there's really... No one said, at least I know, no one said that you have to design in Illustrator.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And even the texture pack I bought today for us, Photoshop.
Have you messed with that?
I know, I did it. I literally bought it right before I went to work.
I was gonna mess with that for the fun of the week, but I was like, I only really want to spend
maybe
like
next week
30 minutes on this. I was like, it at least takes an hour to learn a new texture pack. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna save it for maybe the new year.
Or the stickers. The sticker packaging.
Oh, snap.
Okay, we'll talk about that later.
That's not a bad oh snap. That's a good oh snap.
That's a good oh snap.
As in, we're almost there?
Yes.
Question mark, exclamation point. But yeah. Any other New Year goals? Is that what they're called?
Resolution.
Yeah. New Year's resolutions.
I don't know. Not really design-wise. other life-wise.
I know. I don't even know.
This last year, I'm not gonna lie, was very rough. So I'm like, I'm not gonna make any more resolutions because
Like resolution wise, it was rough, or just
just general,
life.
just life. And so I don't want to be disappointed again. So we're just going into it.
Okay. Okay. Maybe for like a ego boost, set it low, and then
The
you reach
bar
them
really.
all, and you're like, "Ha! I beat all. I got all the
This
my
year's already
resolutions
better.
goals," and it's like,
Did
"What'd you
you?
guys do?" I don't know. That might be something to help. I don't know. No.
I don't
It
know.
would be funny though. I feel like what are your resolutions? I was like, wake up at 7 a.m. at least one
One
day.
day.
I was like, I did that yesterday. I'm like,
I
bravo.
actually did it today.
Yeah? I think I did
Yeah.
too. I think I woke
I
up, I
usually
don't know
wake up
why.
way later.
For some reason I just woke up at like 7, I think. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get out of bed right now.
Yeah,
Did it feel
because
good?
I
No.
get off work at 10. I'm like, I'm gonna stay up till 3.
Yeah. Well, you're like, I just got home. I want to do stuff. I don't want to go to bed.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Sometimes that be like that.
But yeah, I hope this next year is better for both of us, and I hope that um, this thing, the podcast we're doing too, has a
I
good
think
time
it'll
in
be great.
2025 too.
I think it'll be great. I mean, honestly,
Wait, that's another New Year's resolution I came up with
huh?
for the podcast. For us, for the podcast,
Wow.
keeping our schedule consistent.
Hey, we are doing pretty dang good. Okay. For honestly, like we tried to stay organized, and I was gonna say it. I don't think we're that organized. Like relatively,
And also
certain things we
intention, we
are,
are.
but when it comes to like remote episodes, or it's like we can't record on a Sunday. And we're like, oh, when are we going to record? Then we're like,
Well, of course, our work schedules are opposite. You work in the morning, and I work
I
at
know.
night
There's literally, this is like the only time where it's like we're
at
both
11 or
awake and
9
ready to
p.m.
work, which is rough.
Yeah,
But, gets the job done. I don't mind. I normally kind of like stay up relatively late. But yeah.
good thing. I'd feel bad if I was keeping you up.
Nah. I try to be in bed. I say I try to be in bed early, like 10:30 early. But I mean, I'm also okay staying up to like 2 a.m. and still waking up in the morning. Like I think I have the power to be a night person. I just don't want to. You know?
I know I'm not a morning person. Like, I wake up and I'm like, don't talk to me for at least an hour and a half.
I wish
I need a minute.
I'd. Hmm. Hmm. I think I'd like it. Hmm. I'm trying to just. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I like waking up in the mornings, but I don't want to wake up whether it's pitch black or freezing, which is like the winter.
I think
But
we talked about this
I
last
like
time
the
too.
winter for the snow on the mountains. Everything else, I'm like, I don't really care for. But waking up in the mornings during like the spring, summer, and fall, love it. Maybe that's when I'm a morning person, and then wintertime I become a night person.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, are we ready to talk about some font of the week?
Yes, it's showtime.
Share the screen.
Am I sharing? I'll share.
Okay.
Let me just pull this up here. I almost forgot how to share on my screen.
or in the last episode, we chose Contempora for our font of the week because it was both a serif and script font, and we thought it'd be interesting to see how we could pair the two together.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
All right. So for my font of the week, I made this. What is this, you may ask? I don't know. I had this grand idea initially, and I was like, you know what? I haven't made a poster for the podcast in a while. I'm going to make one. And then I was like, I wasn't really liking it. There was also nothing flowing through my head. Like, I had the general idea that it was for the podcast, but that's it. Like, all I had on my artboard was 1-800 side design in the sands, and then the podcast in the script. But that's all I had. No imagery, no supportive text, no designing shapes or whatever you call them. And I was like, oh, I don't like it. So then I kind of just scratched that idea and went with exactly what was on my mind. And that was this abstract thing. And it's literally just brushes that I put a blur and a grain on. I don't really know how much of a fan I am.
Colors.
Yeah. Well, the podcast colors was kind of like what do you call it? Like an unexpected thing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I was mainly just going for a blue color palette because I like the color blue, and then I added the purple in to like give some contrast because the blue, it just felt too blue. But yeah, basically there's this abstract thing, and then the big text. It's just like when you have a brain fart and you go like, you know.
Yeah.
But not. It's like a PFFT, but without the P, you know.
Yeah.
And then in the script style, I got nothing. And then in small text below that, I put, when in doubt, make exactly what is on your mind. And then under that I said, my mind is an empty canvas. And I think that text portrays my abstract thing pretty nicely.
I think so too. Your little abstract scribbles remind me of like a 90s bowling alley carpet.
Yeah. I mean, when I was making it was first the color palette and then the mixture of the brushes. It reminded me of that 90s jazz pattern that was used in Taco Bell in the early 2000s.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
I definitely
like this. I'm a huge fan of that thing. I don't know. It just looks so cool.
I also like your frame around this abstract drawing. How it's like sharp in two corners and then round in the other two. I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool. It's very subtle. I didn't notice it at first, but
I know. Well, originally it was just the sharp edges, and I was like,
it adds to the abstract.
There could be more. And then part of me was like, it. So the reason why I did that was mainly because it's like the, what's this typeface called again?
Contempora.
Contempora. Contempora is like round edged, like even in the sands, and then the script obviously is round edged, and then the text down here, the body copy is like your regular type of sands with sharp edges. So it's kind of like mixing that. But I mean, it was also just for looks.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, I might print this one for the wall. Because I actually kind of like it.
It is cool.
I'm digging it. But yeah.
Your copy, too, is great.
My what?
Your copy, like your words on there. It's very you.
Yeah. you know, yeah, gotta put my own little schnazzy touch on it.
Yeah. True Thai fashion.
Yeah, honestly, if I could make posters like this for a living, I would. I literally have a notes.
Or an Etsy shop.
Yeah, maybe I will.
Digital download for anyone.
Yeah, I have like a whole notes document on my phone of a bunch of like ideas that I just come up with. Like I don't know if you do this, but like when I was very much so into like my illustrative state, I would just like type these ideas down, but then I'd never do anything with it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you do that, but I have like maybe three different
Definitely.
documents, and one of them I'm trying to do them because I feel like they're like those dumb, funny ideas, you know?
Yeah.
Like one of them is to create a funny poster of a KFC bucket.
I'm a KFC bucket.
Yeah. It's like, why would someone do that? But also, it'd be pretty cool, right? So I'm trying to do that one. Jesus. Um, but yeah, like, it'd be so great to just create these random posters that my mind can think of.
Yeah, go
But
for it.
yeah, I'll
Very
probably
nice.
give it a shot. Why not? I got nothing to lose.
Exactly. This is like low stakes design. Like, it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah, yeah. But yeah, let's what what did you do for fun of the week?
Do you want me to share for my screen?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, I was like, are you sharing your mic? Okay.
Oh my
I
days.
gotta choose my other monitor. I did this.
Mm,
The Contempora
wow.
typeface gave me because it was a script and a sans. It gave, and it's called Contempora. Very contemporary, like elegant kind of vibes to it. So I kind of did like a fashion kind of poster, but I wanted it to feel elegant but contemporary. So I found this like really cool photo on Texas of this woman. It looks like she's a ballerina. She has pointy shoes on and everything, and has this really elegant, beautiful outfit on in this pose that just like shows so much confidence and everything. And then I wanted to bring in these like very bright, bold colors that bring in that like modern contemporary element to it to kind of like mash the two together. So I was just messing with overlays and stuff again as I do with the bright colors, and I really liked
Yeah.
this neon green with orange,
Mm-hmm.
and then just kind of like a darker like olivey green to like bring it down a little bit. But the darker green I feel like balanced out the neon and the orange.
Yeah, it definitely. I definitely think so. I feel like if that dark green block was the brighter green, I feel like it would have been too much.
Yeah,
But I think it does give like a nice little separation with like with the eye, and it separates like motion, those blocks, and then Milan.
hmm
Very nice. But yeah.
yeah. Guess what font I paired it with? For the like random,
Montserrat.
yeah, with the random body copy I threw on there.
Heck yeah. Honestly, the only way for me to really like truly identify if it's Montserrat is the G.
Yeah.
If there's no G, like capital G anywhere, it kind of blends in. But once I see that G, I'm like,
I don't. Do I have a capital G? I don't.
I didn't see one.
There's no capital.
But yeah, I mean,
For me, it's always the W's and the M's where I see it the most. I'm like, that's Montserrat.
really? Well, like capital or lowercase?
Both.
Oh.
I
For
don't know. I
me,
feel like I've seen it enough times.
my two direct like instant giveaways are obviously the G, and then the R's, and the R's, the P's. They're like wherever that, I don't know that term, but where it comes down, like
Yeah.
that part, it's relatively pretty low, and you're like, that's Montserrat. But yeah,
I like how we both use this typeface in the same way. Contempora, the script, and the serif kind of just barely overlapping each other. We both did it the same way, which is crazy.
well, so I think that's probably like the best way to use it.
It
Well,
didn't
not
feel
like the
right by
best
itself.
way. Yeah, like when it's by itself, like in the sans serif form, it just feels like a condensed typeface. Nothing too
Yeah.
special.
And
And
the
then
script's just kind of like, it's
the
too.
script's it's kind of a weird script, honestly. Like
Yeah, and by
some of the
itself,
letter
it's like,
forms are a little weird. And not every letter connects like a regular script.
yeah.
So I was like,
I feel like by itself, there was too much space within the script.
yeah.
And because the serif or the sans was so condensed, it like balanced it out when you put them over the top of each other.
Yeah. And I also feel like that um the script one is there's like a lot of negative space. Like it's very
Mm-hmm.
light. Where putting it over the sans text is kind of like God, I don't know why I just forgot the words, but contrasty, I guess, because it's so thick.
Yeah,
Yeah, honestly, I literally forgot my thought.
contrasty. Yeah, I understood.
Yeah, I don't know why I was on something,
Again,
and
the balance
then
thing with the contrast between the thickness of between the two, I
yeah,
think is what you were trying to get there. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yes, brains are linked.
Got
Exactly.
it.
But yeah,
Fair
I do
enough.
like the little touch of orange too. It's kind of like
Yeah, it wasn't too much of it. And that's where like the important information is. I felt like kind of like the CPA, like it's Milan Fashion Week with the date and location or whatever. Like this body copy over here is cool and all, like if you want to know more about
it's like
whatever
a
this is,
subtle.
but
The text is
it's
very
not really
subtle.
important. Yeah.
One thing that I don't know how it would look, but I kind of just thought of it is like if it's for Fashion Week, there's obviously like all these. Well, actually, I don't really know how Fashion Week works, but the way I'm
I
picturing is
don't
it's just
either.
like models and dresses and all these like really nice garments, I guess. So it's like it would be cool if instead of that box being orange, it's still like a shade of green, and then you make more of like other things, and it's like different colors.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Something different.
But for one of
Path.
one,
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah.
I dig it. I dig it.
All right. I'll just pull it up since my screen is shared. But for next week, or the next fun of the week, we chose what is it? Crimson Pro.
Pro.
We haven't chosen a serif in a while, and we liked this one because it was kind of round but also sharp at the same time. And there's
And
a
it's
lot
a
of different
super
weights to it.
family.
Yeah.
Or whatever it's called.
So lots of things to explore. Oh, there's a variable too. Oh, there's two variables. I always love Fontshare. Oh, and you can find it on Fontshare
Yes.
for free.
Honestly,
This R is very fun. I love this R.
it's a crazy R because it's like
Again, the sharp, blunt edges,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like also just so round in some places. It's just so nice. This T is just very sharp,
Mm-hmm.
but it's very versatile. I feel like it will pair well with a lot of other typefaces too. So
Yeah, it's like a
for
nice
next
little
time,
body copy, I feel
yeah,
like. So
not
yeah.
at a bold like it's displayed here though. If it was like the lighter version, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's at least for me when it comes to these fonts of the weeks, I feel like it's always nice to have a body copy and a serif at least, because when it comes to like people and their favorite fonts, it tends to be a display, right?
Yeah,
So
just because they're always funky and
they're just better.
yeah,
Well, not
they're fun.
yeah, they're yeah, more fun, slightly better.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't make the rules. That's
it's
just
nice.
how it is.
Yeah. So if you'd like
Okay.
to see your fun of the week shared on the show, be sure to join our Discord server and share it with us there, or email it to 1-800-SADDesign@gmail.com.
Yes. And forgot to mention it for the last episode, but I remember this time. We do have a bonus episode on Patreon. It's a pretty banger, I'd say.
It was very fun. A
Yeah,
lot of
if you
good
wanna,
laughs on that one.
yeah, if you wanna take a look at the work we did our first year in like graphic design classes, definitely check it out.
It's a
If
good
you,
laugh to say the least.
yeah, it's kind of like if you think you're bad now, just you wait. You know, like yeah, I would definitely check it out. I mean, yes, it is under the paywall, um, but that little $5 subscription does help us.
Yes.
Yes,
And
well, it
I
helps the
think,
podcast. At
yeah, it
least.
helps the podcast, and we're planning more stuff too for the Patreon, so that benefits
Yes,
you guys as well. But
yes,
with your support, like if there's anything you want to see specifically and you subscribe to us on Patreon, go ahead. Please leave your comments because all that money is going towards the betterment of the podcast, not to us.
or back to you guys
Yes, back
with
to you guys with
little
things.
goodies, little goodies. But yeah, are there any other reminders? I
Um,
think.
just join the Discord server in general
Yeah.
to, connect with other designers, share the fun of the week, to get the vent line rolling, and we'll share those stories on the podcast too once we get them.
Just at least like join and then introduce yourself.
Yes.
Maybe we should introduce ourselves in
Three
there. I don't
months
know.
later.
Now thinking about it, it's like we probably should have done that from the start. But
We're learning as we go.
better later than never,
Exactly.
right? So yeah.
Oh, and as always, too, a recap of this episode will be posted on our Instagram. So if you'd like to go back and look at our fun of the weeks that we discussed or any other materials that we touch on in the episodes, they could be found on Instagram.
Cheers.
Anything else, Ty?
Not that I can think of. I think that's it.
That's it. Well, thanks for calling 1-800-SAD-DESIGN. Until next time, keep designing, stay inspired, and dial into design. Bye.
Bye.